Hello and welcome to Integrated Math Semester 1. This is the Getting Started video, and what I'm going to do on this video is I'm just going to go through all of the buttons that we have to use in the course and how to find things. Alright, here we go. The first thing is when you log into Integrated Math or any of your courses, you should always be directed to the announcements page. Okay, and this is the announcement page for Integrated Math, and you can see the announcements are here for week number 1, and next week you'll have week number 2 announcements and so forth. So this is the announcement page. Then the first button on every course is what we call the Getting Started button. Okay, so I'm going to click on the Getting Started button. I'm going to turn this off here so it's in student mode. Okay, and the Getting Started button, the first thing you'll see is a Getting Started video, and that is what you should be watching right now because I am creating it. Then this is the work for week number 1. The second button down is the pace chart, which is one of the most important things that we do offer. The pace chart kind of goes through everything for the whole semester. If you take a look, everything for the first semester is there. If you wanted to work ahead, you absolutely can. Everything that is in red, you'll notice is going to be a graded item that will be in the grade book. Everything on my pace chart that is purple is a practice, and everything else is just something that we suggest that you do. So for example, week number 1, you don't see anything that's in red. That means there's nothing that is due that is going to be in the grade book that is going to affect your grade. But we do want you to do everything in week 1 because we want you to get acclimated to the course. Week number 2, you see that we have some work. We're going to start working on the week number 2 folders, solving one-step equations using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then you're going to have a practice and 2 assessments. And you'll notice that I always label my practice and assessments with the week that you're dealing with. So this is week 2, so this is practice number 2 and assessment number 2A and assessment 2B. You'll also notice that my assessments, one of them will be free response where you have to show your work, and the other one is multiple choice. So you'll always have 2 assessments in almost every week. I don't know if I have any 4. Nope, it looks like just 2 in every week. So pretty awesome. Now, let's say you know how to solve one-step equations. You don't have to go to the lesson folder and do all this. If you think you can go to the practice, complete it, and get an 80%, then you could go right to the assessments. Okay, but that's up to you. All right, the next button down is the Live E-sessions. Our Live E-session is on Monday morning from 11:30 until 12 o'clock. So if you want to come to the Live E-session, which I highly recommend that all students do, all you do is you click on the button, and you just, right now it says create the session. It'll have integrated math here. You just click on it, or it'll say join session. You just click on it, and you go right into the session. And I'll teach all the material for the week. If you cannot make it to the live e-sessions, there's always a recorded e-session. So I just record the session on Monday, and then I just put it in as a recording. The next button is the announcements, which we already talked about. Course information, if you click on that, gives you the syllabus, the grading policies, academic honesty and etiquette, and course how-to button. So a lot of stuff that I don't want to go through right now, but you should really, especially the grading, you should really look at the grading scale for the class. Staff information, just a little bit about myself, tells us what, it gives you my email, gives you my phone number. Monday morning, 11:30, 12 is our live session. Then Wednesday morning, I do have a help session from 8:30 to 9. Okay. Then here's one of the most important buttons. It's called the lesson button. I create the course, so every week I have the lesson materials in each week. So week number 2, if you click on that, ooh, you don't see any lesson material, but you do see a maps review. We're big time into maps data, and we try to follow along with the maps. Like in the fall, like last week number 1, you do have to take maps testing. So then what we do is we look at your maps testing and we follow it through the year to see if you're making progress in our class. And what I do in my classes is I always do a maps review before the kids can get to the lesson material. So here's the maps review. You click on it and you take the maps test. So let's take a look at this. It's just evaluating, which you should have had back in 7th and 8th grade. So, and then you answer the questions. If you get a 80% or better, then you can go on to the lesson material, and I'll show you what happens then. Okay, so once I get an 80%, okay, lo and behold, oh no, Oh, I did not get an 80%. So I need to get an 80% on this. I forgot what the answers were to this, but let me see if no, I don't want to do that. But you'll notice that as soon as you get an 80%, the lesson material will show up. Okay, so let me go back here because I turned it off on edit mode. So we should be able to see the lesson plans. Okay, so now that I have it on teacher mode, I should be able to see everything. So week number 2, solving one-step equations, and here's all the information. There's lots and lots of videos and notes. So let's just click on this one here, and you'll see that we have lots of videos. Okay, we have notes. We have practice problems if you wanted to. So if you wanted to click on the notes there, there's some notes in here. What is an equation? An equation is a statement that two expressions are equal. So there's notes, and there's a lot of stuff in here. Do you have to do all of it? Depends on how good you are at math. I mean, if you know how to solve one-step equations and you think, oh, I really already know this stuff, then you could go to your practice and you could take practice number 2, which is on there. And remember, this practice, you won't see this practice unless you get an 80% on the MAPS review, okay? Because that opens up the practice. And then the same thing, if you don't get an 80% on the practice, it won't open up the weekly assessments, okay? So the weekly assessments are right here, but you won't see these unless you get an 80% or higher on your practice. So everything it's called adaptive release. So once you finish the MAPS testing, then it opens up the practice. Once you complete the practice, it opens up the assessment. It basically makes you learn the material. In the past, I used to just have all my tests open and kids would just fly right through them, and they'd wonder why they weren't getting anything correct. And it's like, well, you're not doing the work that you need to do in order to pass. So I did a lot of stuff on adaptive release the last couple of years, and it seems to be helping the students get more focused. Okay, final week. This is just your exam. It's not in there yet, so don't have to worry about that. Discussion board, getting to know you. Week number 1. This is called the Padlet. You can just drag a picture of yourself in here, write a little bit about yourself. Would be awesome to get to know everybody. My Grades basically goes and it has all the assessments and everything that you take, and then you can just click on it and see what your score is. And if you have a bubble next to it, it will show you the bubble means that there is feedback, and please read the feedback this year. Textbook. If you click on that button, there is no text for this class. This is my first class that I've taught that there isn't a textbook. That's why I have notes in all of the lesson plans. But we could not find a textbook that has algebra and geometry mixed together, which this course is basically a review of Algebra 1, and then to get you ready for geometry next year, we threw some geometry topics in here. So that is basically what the class is all about. If you have any questions or concerns, please never hesitate to email me. My name is Mr. Shanklin, and I will be your teacher for this year, and I'm very, very excited to help you with your math. You guys have a great beginning of the school year, and I hope to see you on Mondays at 11:30 for the main lesson. All right, bye.